Harry Richford was my grandson. He died at just 7 days old. He had received severe brain damage following a series of errors and incompetencies surrounding his birth at East Kent Hospital's Trust. What happened that night was the most terrible thing that has ever happened to my family. However, the cover-up that followed was in many ways far, far worse. The Trust refused to call the coroner and reported Harry's death as expected. They filled out statutory forms with information that was polar opposite to the truth and avoided outside scrutiny every step of the way. Harry was born on his due date following a textbook pregnancy with no abnormalities to two physically fit parents, Sarah and Tom. As time went on, we reported Harry's death to the coroner, and following 18 months of investigations, a 3-week inquest was called for January 2020. This included 34 witnesses. We were alone and not entitled to any legal representation at the inquest, despite the Trust using top solicitors and barristers funded from the public purse. We turned to our MP for help and he wrote to advocate on our behalf. They processed our case and sent it to a reviewer at Brick Court, who very quickly recognised our great need and agreed to help us with a team from inside her own chambers. Jennifer MacLeod and Emma Mockford took on our case with compassion and true professionalism. Solicitors were also needed due to the size of the inquest, and Arnold and Porter were found through Pro Bono Connect. They kindly agreed to help complete this outstanding team. During the long, arduous and frankly emotional inquest, Jenny and Emma represented my family's position with care, sincerity and determination. They could not have worked any harder for us. The coroner returned a narrative conclusion showing 7 gross failings contributed to by neglect. He followed this up with a prevention of future deaths report, highlighting 19 concerns, all with recommendations. In his conclusion, the coroner said, "There was a seemingly incomprehensible decision by the Trust after Harry's death to describe his death as expected. The effect of that error was that the coroner was not informed of Harry's death." He went on to say, "Tom and Sarah are grieving for a child they believe should not have died. I agree with them. Harry's death was in my judgment wholly avoidable. Mr. and Mrs. Richford were failed by the hospital, but more importantly, Harry was failed." Harry's inquest directly led to questions in Parliament and a statement from the Health Minister, followed by a full independent investigation into East Kent maternity services, which is ongoing as I speak. On the 9th of October this year, the Care Quality Commission announced that they would be criminally prosecuting the Trust on 2 counts of unsafe care and treatment, one for Sarah and one for Harry. This is the first such prosecution for unsafe clinical care in an NHS Trust. Without the help of Advocate and our legal team, I am in no doubt that justice would not have been achieved for Harry, and as a result further families would have gone through the same heartache that we've experienced. To this date, I doubt very much if Advocate or our legal team know the true impact they have had on my family and indeed the wider NHS. Mothers and babies will be safer because of their actions, and I thank them from the bottom of my heart.